With Tekken 8 bringing some of the biggest changes to the series in almost 2 decades, there was naturally going to be some level of struggle to adapt to these new changes. We've been more or less playing the same Tekken since Tekken 5, and with all these massive new changes in 8, we've been seeing seasoned veterans and pro players struggling to get used to the new mechanics. The game is still very new, so this is of course expected, but Tekken 8 feels like it's punishing you quite hard for trying to play the game like Tekken 7. Some people have responded to this very positively and are happy Tekken feels fresh.
Tekken 7 or Tekken 8?
Tekken 8.
While many others are not. A huge amount of people online have been complaining about Tekken 8, and while that is to be expected, it is the internet after all, we're seeing one type of complaint far more often than others, and that is that the game feels too aggressive and too mashy. These people have various justifications for thinking this, namely, heat smashes being overpowered, heat bursts coming out way too fast, and being plus on block, chip damage and heat, a lot of people have problems with rage arts, and also the new get-up kicks which are now safe, and probably way more. And there's no denying that Tekken 8 is far more aggressive than Tekken 7, as anyone who knows 7 knew that everyone was afraid in that game. It was constantly safe pokes, safe counter hit launchers, that made up like 90% of moves used in pro play. Some people really like that style of gameplay, while others didn't. With the big nerf to counter hit launchers in Tekken 8, and nerf to backdashes, I can understand why people think defense has been significantly nerfed. People who think the game is too aggressive are definitely valid in their feelings. And again, it's just an opinion. Anyone can have whatever opinion they want. And then there's the other side. There's an equal amount of people who are loving Tekken 8. They're loving how different it feels to 7 and how much it rewards aggressive play. They believe the critics are struggling because they're trying to play it the same as they did in 7, and they need to get rid of those old habits and embrace Tekken 8 for what it is, which again is a very aggressive game. They argue that in this aggressive game, defense is still important and is more nuanced than ever, as mindlessly spamming magic 4s and backdashing no longer works. You're forced to use new defensive systems like the counter hit grabs, heat burst, and the greatly buffed sidesteps more. So is Tekken 8 too aggressive? There's no correct answer, it's purely an opinionated thing. And there are people very firmly on both sides of the spectrum here, and neither sides are wrong. They both have very valid points. And these two groups have obviously had a big share of discourse that, if you ask me, is pretty silly. The defenders of this game are trying to downplay all the critics' fair problems with the game by saying, you're just bad and need to adapt to the new Tekken. And that's pretty silly if you ask me. But the other side, which consists of people constantly complaining about the game, calling it way too mashy, saying it's way easier than Tekken 7, and already writing Tekken 8 off as a bad game, are also being silly in my opinion. So, where do I stand on this? Overall, I'm having a blast with Tekken 8, but I can absolutely see both sides. There are things that need to be toned down in my opinion. I think heat smashes probably need a nerf, and I also really hate that grabs now track. But I am enjoying multiple other aggressive features of the game. It feels awesome to be playing a game that feels so different from the previous one. And again, we're just so early on. This game isn't going anywhere. It'll probably be played to close for a decade, and people are only going to discover more and more cool things. I think at the end of the day, the directors had a vision for this game. They wanted to nerf counter hits and other defensive options because they probably just didn't like the direction 7 was going towards the end of the game. And if that's what the directors wanted for this, then fair enough. Obviously, continue being vocal about balance issues like I said before. There are some nerfs that I think are probably needed, but overall, the aggression is here to stay whether you like it or you don't. This is just a new Tekken, at least for a while, so I think we should all try and find enjoyment out of it. Honestly, in my opinion, they've made a truly amazing game here. Almost every character feels insanely strong, with tons of people online joking that there are like 15 characters in the top 5. And again, we're only 3 weeks in. We really know nothing about this game for now. Who knows where the game will go in the next few years? It's pretty exciting to think about. And remember, we've seen almost nothing of the competitive scene in this game. We'll have to wait until there are bigger tournaments like EVO in the summer
to actually see where this game's competitive meta is going to go.
For all we know, there could be amazing defensive techniques that all the pro players are just hiding for now and haven't come public with. It's still way too early to say for sure. And also, the online experience is very different from the competitive experience. If you feel like Tekken 8 is too mashy because you're playing in low ranks, well, yeah, Tekken's always been like that. The low ranks have always been hell. But I think we'll just need to wait and see how the future of the game actually turns out. It's pretty exciting to think about. I, for one, am very excited about the future of Tekken.
And again, I'm not saying that there's no problems with the game. There's actually a lot of problems with the game. The plugging issue is still ridiculous, there's some balance changes I'd really like to see changed, grabs are still broken, so of course, continue being vocal online about the changes you want to see. I just think freaking out about the game being too mashy this early on, and saying Tekken 7 is better even though this game's only been out for a month, is a big overreaction. Give it a little bit more time. Because despite the issues with this game, it seems like the majority of people, myself included, are just having a ton of fun. I really do think this game could be the best Tekken game ever made. And hopefully, if the developers keep listening to our feedback, it will become that.
But Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think this game is too mashy and wish it would go back to Tekken 7's slower, more methodical style? Or do you love the new changes and hope we never go back? I'm curious to see how you guys feel, and as always, I'll always be down there in the comments chatting.
Really quick, while I have you guys here, I just want to say a huge thanks for 10,000 subscribers. This channel is going faster than I ever could have imagined, and it's all thanks to you guys. So again, thank you so much for the recent support. I really think I can grow this channel into something really special, so I'm not going to be stopping anytime soon. I have tons more scripted content like this planned, more educational videos, and of course, I'm going to keep live streaming. So thank you to all the people who've been tuning into those. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.